Hello, today is March 30th, 2015, and I'm going to be talking about the economics and the winners and losers of cheap crude and its impact on Alberta and BC real estate. My name is Dustin Miller, and I'm a realtor with Sotheby's International Realty Canada here in the Victoria office. So over the last few years, we've seen oil prices sustained at over $100 a barrel and even significantly higher. And this really led to a mass influx of technological innovation in the oil industry and really encouraged firms to undertake oil exploration, whether it's on land or deep in the sea. And as a result, we have oil everywhere now. We have a huge supply glut that has forced prices below the $50 per barrel mark. And in the horizon, it's really tough to picture that we will see triple-digit prices in the near future. So this is an extraordinary collapse in the price of oil, has really changed the economic landscape of Canada, specifically that of Alberta. However, there are both winners and losers when it comes to cheap crude. Canada's economic engine is truly its exports. We are a large exporter. We are a resource-rich country that really depends on being able to sell raw materials abroad. And oil is a significant player in the composition of Canada's exports. Its importance was even recently punctuated, to the Bank of Canada's surprise, with a slash of its trend-setting interest rate. In the first interest rate announcements of 2015, the Bank of Canada cut the prime lending rate by 25 basis points, really putting investors and consumers in a bit of a surprise, but nonetheless, it's a positive surprise. So in Alberta, new investment and exploration has been postponed while the provincial government is scrambling to shore up a gigantic budget sinkhole, and the Alberta labor force and workers are really fearing for their livelihoods. But at home in BC, the mood is much different and much less subdued to economic gloom. Our exposure to the down cycle is much more limited and nuanced here in BC. Since oil production is so minute in BC, the negative impact is largely confined to our ties with Alberta. The oil patch supply chain of goods and services will suffer, as will those households that earn their living in the Alberta energy sector. In addition, BC's recreational real estate markets, traditionally favored by Albertans, will see sales wane. However, the slump may push some to cash out now and retire to BC. My office is experiencing an increase in those baby boomers who are cashing out and not really wanting to partake in another boom and bust in the Alberta oil patch and coming to enjoy their retirement in the interior, in the Okanagan, or out here on the west coast of Vancouver or Victoria. So while this cheap crude is really disruptive and sometimes tragic to those families affected, the net result of lower oil prices is positive for British Columbia. The big beneficiaries are consumers and retailers. Lower gas prices are immediately felt by consumers, and all those extra loonies at the end of the week will largely be spent at BC stores, or perhaps the BC liquor store, which goes right back into our provincial coffers. Lower oil prices mean a weaker exchange rate and even more business for BC retailers, as cross-border shopping makes much less sense for Canadians to go down to the border for the weekend and shop at those sometimes attractive Washington State outlet malls. Furthermore, we're also going to see tourism get an unexpected boost as U.S. households get a 20% currency discount. And we're going to see more British Columbians take more summer staycations and really enjoy all the beautiful aspects that we have right here in our backyard. So while the impacts I've listed aren't totally exhaustive, they do illustrate that there are both winners and losers. On the whole, British Columbians will be the beneficiaries of the supply glut, with consumers and businesses benefiting from cheap oil, increased consumption, and a lower cost of borrowing. If you have any more questions on the macro market and how it impacts real estate here in Victoria or British Columbia as a whole, feel free to get in touch with me at 778-678-9815 or visit my website www.dustin-miller.ca.